How would you assist a team member who's dropped into an agile team for the first time? Well, now, many people would turn around and say, well, you coach them and, ask powerful questions and you listen keenly for what they have to say. And yes, you should do that. But is that the most helpful thing you can do in that moment? You've got somebody new, maybe they've been dropped into a Scrum team or a Kanban team, or it doesn't really matter what type of team, but it's a team that not only are they new to the people, but they're new to the whole way of working. And probably a hugely different way of working. This, while it may not be scary, is certainly unsettling, uncomfortable for people because they don't know how they fit, they don't know how to play this game. And really, as an agile coach, this is where we come in. So yes, we're going to ask questions to raise their awareness, raise their understanding, get them to do some thinking. But actually, you know what we also need to do? We need to teach them some stuff. What are the rules of the game? Right? There's no point in putting somebody into a Scrum team and not explaining what a Scrum is, not explaining what that Scrum Master does or that product owner does. Right? So as an agile coach, you've got to work out which hat to wear, and very often you need multiple hats throughout the same day. So is this a teaching moment? Is this an opportunity to show somebody pre-existing knowledge? A good way of doing things already exists. Here you go, have it, play with it, learn. Or is it a mentoring, an opportunity for you to bring your experience to the front? I've done similar things in the past and this is what's worked for me and what hasn't. What do you think? Or is it that coaching opportunity where you really are going to start asking them questions about what they think, how they feel, how they see it playing out for themselves? And there is no one way through this. You do what is right in the moment. Okay? Of course, afterwards, take some time out, reflect. Can we improve? Always can. How can we do that? Seek those improvements, but don't stress about it in the moment. Do the best you can with what's in front of you. Trust your skills, trust your instinct, and you can help guide that new team member through those early days. So that's looking at the person, but also we need to consider the team. Okay? This team's just had a new person appear, and this new person doesn't know the rules of the game in terms of team dynamics either. So what we need to do is help them, as a team, to begin that coming together, that creation of a real team again. Okay? And the way that I approach that is through things like the working agreement, those chartering events that you did right at the start with that team. You sat down, you said, what's the vision? What's our purpose? How do we know that we're progressing towards that? How do we test this? How do we work together? Who's in the team? Who's not in the team? All of these things our new player on the pitch doesn't know anything about. So we need to sit down with them. Now, I say we, I'm a coach. That's not me. Okay. What I'm going to do is likely remind the team, look, John's just joined. Maybe they don't know what's going on. Maybe you need to take some time out, slow down, and help them get up to speed. That's the cost of new people coming into the team. New people coming in, it's great. We get new ways of thinking, more diversity. We break up the potential for that groupthink. Lots of good, but there is some downside. They don't know how the game is played around here. So they need to be taught that. Okay? So get the team, either as a whole team to come together or a few representatives of the existing team and the new person or the new people to sit down and say, this is our working agreement. What do you think? Have you seen it differently? What works for you, what doesn't, what concerns you have? 9 times out of 10, they'll read it and they'll say, that seems eminently sensible. Yeah, fine, I'm good with that. That 10th time, they're going to call it out and say, actually, that doesn't work for me. Or, I've got something I would like to add. That's okay. This is the point. It's an opportunity to explore the space together. Invite the whole team together for that conversation. It's an opportunity for you as a team to work out what works best for you. Make sure that everybody's voice is heard, do all the good things that we know about from facilitation, but really try and leave the ownership with the team itself, to invite that person in. We are there to guide them, to help them, to support them, okay? But not to do the work for them. So when I said there's teaching moments, there's mentoring moments, there's coaching moments, there are. And it's on us to recognise them. Okay? It's also, with time, on the team themselves to recognise them. Is that a teaching moment that they could take on? Why does the Agile coach have to teach how to do Scrum when you've got a whole bunch of devs there who can do it themselves? Why be you? Well, let them do it the way that they do it and the why that they do it. What works for them and why it works for them. Let them explore it together and have that conversation. You can be in it. You can be part of that conversation. You can be a facilitator. You can sit in the corner and be a coach. How you turn up, okay, is going to be particular to that team. But what you really want to do is make sure that conversation is had. Early days, that may be you guiding the conversation. Later on, that is not going to be you. You're going to have done a great job of enabling self-managing teams where they realise the gap, maybe with a little nudge, and get on with it. Okay? And you're just there because everybody likes a little bit of support. So your job in this situation is not necessarily to do all the work, but to ensure the work is done. Have they had the right conversations? Have they covered all the points that they needed to? Have they stuck to their own process? And if they didn't have a process, what a wonderful time for them to start documenting how new people come into the team. So as an Agile coach, we may or may not be doing an awful lot of work when that new team member is brought into the team. It really depends on the maturity of the wider team that you're working with. Can they do this work, or do you have to step into? Okay? Your role in here is to make sure that that new team member understands the rules of the game that they're entering and feels supported and encouraged to take part. If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.